Hello, everybody. Our buddy back in the driver's seat again. Today is day 9 of my 60-day commitment to bring some content and some real life stuff out to you guys. If you're just now catching, this is your first one. My name's Andrew Ammons, and the point of this whole little exercise is to, one, stick to a commitment of 60 days worth of videos and information about my course and my, what am I looking for? My path, my day, my whatever it is, to building service businesses. And when I say service business, I mean service industry. I am in the residential and commercial roofing business, as well as the landscape maintenance primarily business, and consider myself some days a different breed. Some days I consider myself the average breed, but working to be anything but average as far as our service companies go. I've got a few businesses: ACR Commercial Roofing, Verde Landscape Companies, Ammons Roofing, and I have partnered with Ryan Stuman to put together some good stuff for service professionals, people in the field who are maybe otherwise, if they didn't catch our stuff, wouldn't know what the capabilities they may have right under their nose to build a fantastic life for themselves and their family. See, when I first started thinking about this whole deal and about getting a little bit more loud online, it wasn't just to promote myself. In fact, none of it was that. I remember when I first got plugged into a network with some high quality producers. I'm struggling with words. By the way, the reason that we're in the car right now is because I was in the middle of my work day and my dog got out and took off running down through the park. So I've spent the last 15 minutes in a bit of a tizzy trying to catch my dog. So either way, when I first got plugged into different networks, people outside of my interior small town community of 18,000 people, I started recognizing something different with these people. I started recognizing some of the things that they were going after and some of the things that they were achieving. And one thing that I had always struggled with from the time I very first got into business as a salesperson in roofing was the networking aspect, right? I always did the whole bare your nose, don't talk to anybody, especially your competition. Really dealt in a scarcity mindset. In other words, if people knew what I was doing, then they might steal that idea. If people saw what I was doing, they might duplicate it, therefore would leave less for myself. And quite frankly, that's sad that I thought that way for so long, because it doesn't matter what industry you're in. The more, I've said before, more is more, right? The more people that I network with, and the more people that I share and bounce ideas off of, without giving, of course, secret things out, but still, the more people that I work with is going to create more synergy for me. I posted in one of the groups this morning, was asking the question, if you see somebody else who has everything that you want, right? You've been killing yourself for 10 years to get this one thing that you see that somebody has. How do you react to that? Do you A, turn your head the other way and act like you didn't see it? Do you B, make excuses for why you haven't got there? Do you C, say, oh, they must have done something different, they must have stole from somebody else? Or do you D, look at that person and say, because they have exactly what I want, that leaves more room for me to have it too. And that's a lot of what this is about. This is about me getting out there, sharing some of the experiences that I have in building my businesses, and hope to attract a larger network of people. You don't have to be in the service industry. You don't have to be in any industry. You don't have to be in any certain business. But getting this out there and meeting more of you guys and connecting via social media and in person is going to allow me the ability to grow personally, as well as hopefully help anybody that I begin to engage with. And so a big part of this is to just continue to expand my network. It's also to commit to living in a quote unquote glass house. And as each of these progress, I probably become a little bit more comfortable. They become a little bit more real. I bet if we go back to the first couple of them, and we're only 9 days into it, so imagine what happened at 60. First couple days into it, it was not very real, a little bit more me preaching, but the closer we get to this, my hope is that I see a transformation in me, because I understand a lot of business concepts. I understand a lot of teamwork, partnership concepts, but sometimes I let the white noise and the stress, quite frankly, some days of business get to me and cause me to ignore a lot of the things and values that I hold and know to be true. And so my thought process on this was, if I put this out there, I'm going to force myself to live on this stage. If my team sees it, if my customers see it, if my competition sees it, then I better be playing on that level, because otherwise I'm just a hypocrite, right? So that's a little bit of a personal deal that I'm looking for. But today, it is Tuesday, and we got done shooting some promo video for ad campaign for the spring that will hopefully help get our companies out there a little bit further to help more people to deliver upon our core values. And today I jumped right back into the office, got on some stuff with my team. Actually spent the first half of the day after, of course, my morning time working with Amelia, who I work hand in hand with on a daily basis to work through my calendar, my schedule. And in fact, it looks like she's actually working in the window right here as I pull up to the office, watering plants. So I spent the first half of my day working with her on lining out and prioritizing my tasks. I use Microsoft Outlook like a boss. I like to say, I call it Central Command. It's got everything from my calendar to my task list to my emails, and we rank those by priority. We mark them up against my goals to make certain that I am tracking the right things. But I spent over half of my day trying to get that lined out and investing in the teamwork that I have with Amelia to become a higher and higher performer. I talk a lot of times about creating time, and historically, I don't, first of all, know that I knew what that meant. I used to use the phrase time management. And if you're not in the Small Business Big Thinkers group, look that up on Facebook, Small Business Big Thinkers, because I talked this morning about the concept of time creation, and that sometimes when you get stuck using phrases like time management, you begin to think that you have only this certain finite amount of time, and you think in a scarcity mindset, and you think the hourglass, starting right here, tipping it over, watching it all day long, boom, time's out, I can't do anything about it. So I talked a little bit about personal experience, about how I truly created multiple hours in my day, created them out of thin air, conjured them up. I don't know if that's how you conjure up time, but either way, that's how I did it. I didn't necessarily start working more hours. If you catch that video, I talk about just transferring. Basically, I rebranded certain hours and certain time of the day. So either way, that was something that we spent a couple hours this morning working on. And we got through that, went through lunch today, and then had to hop on a call with one of our partners who does insurance invoicing for us. And some of the struggles that we've gone through in 2017, getting prepped to really scale our business in 2018, is communication with our administrative team. And we have a kick-ass administrative team. We got the right people in the right seats. But those building blocks that you start to put together, when you start to scale up and you start to build your business, and building your business, I'm gonna go inside, but building your business requires you to let more people on board, right? It requires you to move from an owner-operator standpoint to an enterprise that has trust in its team members, an enterprise that recognizes that everything will not be done as perfect if it was the owner-operator. But what's the alternative to that? The alternative to that is staying the owner-operator and not being able to build a legacy, not being able to reach more people to provide the values and the value that I know we can. So, sometimes when making that jump, you have a few hiccups, right? You have a few customers that weren't taken care of. You have a few partners like the one that I talked to today that our communication from our office has not been perfect, nor has theirs. But sometimes you have to sit down, you have to take that information and those failures, you have to take them really serious, and you've got to dial them down. But you also have to remember the commitment that you made to scaling your business, because in the path of scaling, in order to reach more people, there are going to be screw ups. And if you can work, which is something that I've learned to do in just the last year or so, if you can learn to really dissect, what is a systemic problem versus what is a problem that has resulted, or a new problem that's a result of scaling. If you can look at those two objectively, you take the systemic problems and you root them out. You take the ones that are new problems, which we know we want if we're scaling a business, and you focus on them and you proactively work with your team. So one of the things that I am now 10 minutes late to, so we're gonna go inside, as a result of last year, us setting the foundation and building our admin team larger than it's ever been, we recognize that we failed on the communication of a few things. One of those being just training of systems. The ways that I laid out things needed to be done, I didn't communicate as good as I should have. So we have every Tuesday, Thursday, we have our office admin meeting. I was hoping they were inside at this point. We have our office admin and our ops admin in meetings where I dedicate at least an hour and a half to go through standard training of systems, operations, vision casting, how we want things to work. And so that's what I'm stepping in here at 2 o'clock for. And expected people to be back here, but I gave everybody an excuse to be a little bit behind. So we're gonna get right into that here in just a second. So that's gonna be it for me today. It is now 2:09, 9 minutes late. We'll get this up at 3 o'clock. Have a good one.